Hello, hello, hello. Look at me. I'm behind a desk. I feel very important. I always feel like, you know, people that sit behind desks are a little bit important and a bit intimidating. Anyway, it's not a desk, is it? It's my beautiful French table that I shared with you all a few videos ago. Anyway, I just wanted to drop in, really just to say hello. This video that's coming up is going to be, I've decided to make like a scrapbook vlog. So it's just really a collection of little bits of footage that I've taken over the last week or two that haven't been able to find a home in a proper video. And so because I don't have time over the next couple of days to make a decent video, I thought I'd just plonk all these things together for you, just for your visual happiness. Because I know that there are people that I follow that sometimes I'm not even listening so much to what they're saying, not in the first viewing anyway. I'm just like popping in, you know, and just getting a fix, because I think a lot of lifestyle vlogs, for want of a better term, are about comfort, and they're also about being inspired simply by having a little bit of visual eye candy, you know. And so we were talking this morning, actually, and this is going to sound really stupid, but David said to me, you know, Jen, there are millions of people that live in high-rise apartments that don't have backyards. I mean, of course I know that, but I don't. You know, we're all just in our own lives, and sometimes we forget how lucky we are, how privileged we are, the gifts that we have, the things that we can share with others. And I forget that a backyard is, you know, it's an Australian thing, but it's not necessarily a Singapore thing or a Hong Kong thing or a downtown Manhattan thing. So just sharing just the greenery, you know, the kangaroos, which we take for granted, but people are fascinated by. All these things, all of our lives, they're all so different. I follow a girl I'm not even sure where she is. I think she's somewhere maybe in Japan, but she has been filming in a tiny little apartment. She's a student, and she's just got this little square space where she films, and she's a beautiful photographer. Chocky, I don't know if any of you have ever followed her, but it's a faceless channel, so you never see her face. She doesn't speak, it's all subtitled, but it's just beautiful, and I just love seeing that sort of creative expression, and I love enjoying it and being involved in it and being so lucky to be able to do it now. Funnily, I just said, you know, I kind of turned the camera on. I thought, now, am I taping? All right. I actually said to myself, am I taping? Which is so hilarious. But those of you from my generation and a bit even later would know that that was the language that we used. And I remember when I was in Form 3 in high school, which would have been about, oh God, I reckon that was about 1975. We had a new subject called media studies, and the cats are coming in, they're having a fight. Beatrice, you're not allowed in here. Sorry, they're knocking the camera. So we had this new subject called media studies, and we had one video camera, great big monstrosity thing it was, and we had to, you know, get on the list and book a time to borrow the camera so that we could use it and film little things. It was all in black and white, and this was our first foray into media for a lot of us. I had a box Brownie camera when I was in primary school, and a few of my friends in high school had a real camera where they could take colour photos. But in terms of video, it was just not happening. In fact, I think I'm scrambling my memories here. Actually, media studies, we didn't have a video camera. No. We didn't have video cameras until the 80s. No, we had just a camera. but it was, you know, a quality camera that you had to, that's right, you had to sign up for this camera, and we could go out and take photos and bring them back to the lab and develop them ourselves. That's what it is. That's what it was. So we got to have a dark room and we got to do all these things. And I do remember, now this is really, really, by today's standards, bizarre. My friends and I wanted to do a series of photos entitled Loneliness. And so we literally went from the high school, we're in a country town, across to the primary school, and we just wandered in and we just started taking photos of children in the playground. And we actually got some really poignant photos of, you know, children isolated from others and stuff like that. And we took these photos and took them back and developed them and put them into our project. Nobody batted an eye. Like, it was just, by today's standards, it was illegal. It's extraordinary, isn't it? I'm not condoning it or saying that was a great thing or anything like that. Just saying that was the times and that's what it was like and that's what we did. Anyway, circling back to, this is just going to be a video scrapbook, a vlogging scrapbook of all the little bits and pieces that I've filmed over the last couple of weeks that haven't been able to find a home and won't find a home, and they were just going to be trashed, and I thought I would just stitch them all together for you here today, and as a way of saying hello, as a way of saying thank you for commenting, thank you for liking and being part of this growing community. I deeply, deeply appreciate you. It's just lovely. The other thing I quickly wanted to show you is, you'll see there's a couple of shots there. I got hold of some fabric from Roz, who's my beautiful friend who owns the wool shop where I work. She went to Vietnam, but this is, I don't think these fabrics are from there. I think these are Indian block printed fabrics. Anyway, she has had all these fabrics, and look at them, aren't they gorgeous? So I'm going to talk more about this in another video too, but you'll see me fiddling around with these fabrics in one of the shots. You'll also see a shot of my bedroom where I'm sort of playing with making, you know, I love lots of texture and lots of pattern clashes and stuff like that. So I'm working on our bedroom and making it really, really cozy. So there's a tiny shot of that, just a glimpse of how I'm layering it and how I'm playing with the idea of using these sorts of fabrics on our bedhead, because our bedhead's extremely drab. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching this channel, and I will see you in a proper video very, very soon, next week. Until then, have a beautiful time wherever you are. Have a safe and happy week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. See ya. Beatrice, please, this is not your space. You are not to bully Harry out of this one little sanctuary that he has. She is so naughty. You got in trouble, didn't you? Now, before we get started on the little panels, I've got this one that's half done and I can't stand that he doesn't have any eyeballs. So I've just got to give him some eyeballs and a bit of hair. So I'm gonna use the paint that was used on this. I haven't got the palette anymore, but I know I used a bit of Payne's Grey and a bit of raw sienna. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to just give him some eyes and some hair and see how he looks. But I am going to use these paint brushes, and yes, they are watercolour, but that doesn't matter. They've got fine tips, and that's all I want at the moment. And they'll be soft, so I'll be able to squish them around if I need to. So, you know, it was a happy mistake, guys. It was a happy mistake. So I think I'll use this medium one to give him some eyeballs. And I'm just going to work straight from the thing. There's no point pouring it out. I'm just going to work out of the lid to give him some eyes. And I'm not going to wet this either. I want it to be nice and dry so it holds its point. And we'll see what happens. And we'll see how he looks when he's got some eyes. If you want to load your brush up, you need to dip it in and dip it out, wipe it, dip it in again, then it'll get nice and loaded. So we'll see what happens here. He needs an eyebrow. Okay, now he's starting to come to life. Just moving a bit of that Payne's Grey around. It's always good to, if you're using a colour, to move it around the whole painting and not just have it isolated in one spot. I think he needs some dots around his cuff. My friend looked at my work and said, "That's not a painting, that's an illustration." And it's like, well, whatever, I don't care. It's just what comes out of me. I think that's one of the biggest things about coming to terms with your style, is that owning it. Like, whatever you paint is what you paint, no matter what the influences are and how you think it should be. It'll be a certain way, and you know, that's the way the force wants to come through you. The creative force wants to come through you in a particular way. And once you can go, so for me, it was like, okay, after years and years of struggling and thinking nothing looks the way I think it should look, one day I just thought, you know what? This is how I paint. This is how Jen paints. And I'm not going to judge it anymore. I'm just going to go with it. And that was very freeing. So I'm giving him kind of sideburns. I don't know whether that's going to work or if it's going to make him look creepy. I'll give him a little mouth. And I don't think I like that as much. I'll just keep working on that though, and give him an ear hole. And then I want to stop talking. I've never, ever, ever painted in front of anyone, so this is a first for me. Talking and painting at the same time, it's a bit of a challenge. Actually, where's that other little one? He's starting to get he's got a big scarf. These little brushes are really cool. Can you see him okay there? I'll come back to it and probably do a little bit more finessing, but I'm pretty happy with where that's going. I might have to mix in a little bit more of that green and brighten it up more, but I think he's kind of done. He came to life, didn't he? He really has his own personality. So I can leave him be now and let him do his own thing for a while. And I will get on to the Montmartre paint and our little project that we're going to do together. Just trying to catch that lady over there. She had a red hat on. It looked great. A red beanie and a big black coat and a greyhound. I wanted to draw her. We're stopping at the gardens for a coffee because we've got another 2 hours to go before we get to the coast. It's coming over. Yum. I'm just so hanging out for this. Has it got sugar?
Yeah.
Yay.
A bit more?
Yes, please. Here comes the pigeon again. I wonder if the pigeon knows it's on camera. it. They did hear it. It's Thursday. I'm expecting it to be fairly quiet today. We had a folk festival for the long weekend, so from like Friday to Tuesday, the town was out of control. Now everybody's feeling really slammed, and I just think it's going to be a really quiet day, but that's okay because I've got things to price and set up. We've got all the Christmas stock in, so we've moved right into the felt and the crafting sort of stuff and the cotton as well. People are knitting a lot of like dishcloths and face washes and stuff, so that's fun.